Hello, I am Luisa Fernanda Hoyos Gallego and I am going to talk about Edward Jenner. Edward Jenner is called the father of immunology and his work is said to have saved more lives than any other man's work. Jenner was born in the city of Berkeley in southern England on May 17, 1749. He was the eighth child of Sarah Heath, wife of the vicar Steve Jenner. Before this birth, the married had lost two children. Edward was baptized with the same name as one of his brothers who died at the age of 5, precisely 2 weeks before his birth. His father was a cultured man educated at Pembroke and Oxford. After completing his ecclesiastical studies, he was the vicar of the Berkeley Parish Church from 1792, the same year in which he married Sarah Heath, daughter of the previous vicar Henry Heath, whom he had replaced in the parish. In the Berkeley vicarage, the modest life of a clergyman was lived. The income that the parish service provided, together with that from his properties, allowed the vicar to offer his children material well-being, but above all, to give them a good education. In this cultural environment, Edward's two older brothers, Stephen and Henry, pursued ecclesiastical studies at Oxford like their father. In the month of May 1754, Sarah Jenner gives birth to her ninth child. On May 8, he is baptized with the name of Thomas, but dies the next day. 24 hours later, Sarah Jenner died of puerperal complications at the age of 46, and only 2 months later, on December 9, the vicar Stephen Jenner passed away, leaving Edward an orphan at the young age of 5, remaining in the care of his aunt Deborah and of his older sister Mary. His older brother Stephen assumes responsibility for the Jenner family, and for Edward he will be his fraternal guide. Before going to school, Edward's sister had already taught him the basic rules of math, music, reading, and writing. With this basic knowledge, he enters Wootton Underage Grammar School, located 4 miles east of Berkeley. This school is directed by the Reverend Thomas Cleason, where he receives classes in the Latin and Greek. But what Edward was most passionate about was taking long walks throughout the hills and forests, and thus observing and learning from nature. Among the limestone stones of the small hills near his house, he searched for fossils. He also collected field mice nests, of which he had more than 50. Jenner was known as the poet sage due to his passion for writing and for expressing his feelings through poetry. Although he would not rise to fame for his literary work, but for making a discovery that would revolutionize science forever, the smallpox vaccine. In 1761, young Edward moved to Sudbury, where he began his training as a surgeon and pharmacist under the orders of the town doctor Abraham Ludlow. There Jenner would hear for the first time from the mouth of Sarah Nance, a cow milker, the following statement: "I will never have smallpox because I have cowpox. I will never have a fake market by smallpox." And it would be precisely thanks to this popular belief that Edward Jenner would discover the vaccine against these diseases. In 1770, at the age of 1770, Edward began his studies at St. Giles Hospital in London, where he was a disciple of the famous surgeon and anatomist John Hunter, becoming first his favorite student and eventually one of his best friends, and friendship that would last until the death of his mentor. By the time Jenner returned to Berkeley, the smallpox epidemic affecting the population had already caused numerous deaths. To try to stop it, and despite close opposition from the other doctor, Jenner tried to implement a method that he had studied at St. Giles Hospital and which was known as virilization. This process, introduced in London in 1731 by the wife of the English ambassador to Turkey, Lady Montagu, consisted of inoculating a healthy person with affected material. On May 14, 1796, Jenner decided to inoculate an 80-year-old boy named James Phillips with some infected matter that he obtained from a person with cowpox. The little boy developed a mild fever that disappeared after a few days. A few months later, Jenner put the ultimate test to stamp out the epidemic. He inoculated James Phillips again, but this time with human smallpox, to see if the boy developed the disease. The results give him the reason, and the child neither contracted the disease nor died. Edward Jenner explained this procedure in a paper called Investigating the Cause and Effect of Cowpox. Despite the fact that the experiment was carried out with 23 more people obtaining the same successful result, the London Medical Association opposed the treatment with the singular argument that with this method the patient could gradually become cured. Confident that his discovery and the treatment administered was correct, Jenner inoculated his own son with the vaccine, achieving the same good results. The recognition would come to Jenner in 1805 from France, from Napoleon Bonaparte himself, who gave the order to vaccinate all his soldiers with the method of the English doctor. Later, even two important ladies, the Countess of Berkeley and Lady Duce, asked Jenner to vaccinate their children. During the last year of his life, misfortune had taken hold of him. First was the death of his sister and his eldest son in 1810. Later, that of his other sister Annie in 1812, and in 1805 that of his wife Catherine from tuberculosis. Edward Jenner himself died of a stroke at January 26, 1823, and was buried with his parents, son and wife in Dartford, in his hometown. The success of Jenner's discovery was so important that in 1840 the English government prohibited any other method of vaccination against smallpox other than its own. The generalization of this method throughout the world would eventually end this fatal disease. It is estimated that in the 20th century alone it caused some 300 million deaths, which was declared eradicated by the World Health Organization in the 1980. Possible consequences of the past. If Edward Jenner had not existed, there would be no vaccine against smallpox and many more people would have died from this disease. If the 8-year-old boy with whom they experimented the vaccine had not worked, it would not have been possible to apply it to people so that they would be safe. If the smallpox vaccine had not been found, many people would have died from this virus or could even be deformed. If Edward had not obeyed the people who told him it didn't work, fewer people would have died because the vaccine was made early. If Edward had not listened to the cow milker, there wouldn't be such a quick cure and more people could get infected and die. Possible consequences today. If the vaccine was not allowed, today we would have this virus and more people would have died. If they hadn't invented the vaccine, we would now be dead or deformed. If the vaccine had not been invented, today a great pandemic was opening because of this virus. It is already very contagious and deadly. Thank you.